ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. We'll chant Bhaja Govindam, verses 25 to 29.
Shatro mitre putre bandau ma kuru yatnam vigraha sandau sarvasminnapi pashyatmanam sarvatro sruja vedajnanam Kamam krodham lobham moham tyaktvatmanam pashyati soham Atmajnana vihina mudha te pachyante narakanigudha Geyam Gita nama sahasram deyam Shripati rupamajasram Neyam sajjana sange chittam deyam dina janaya chavittam Sukhata kriyate rama bhogaha paschadanta sharire rogaha Yadyapi loke maranam sharanam tadapi namunchati papacharanam Arthamanartham bhavaya nityam nasti tata sukalesha satyam Putradapi dhana bhajam bhitihi sarvatraisha vihitariti.
We have seen up to shloka number 24 of Bhaja Govindam. So, the interesting thought flow that Adi Shankara and his disciples are presenting from shloka number 21, if you see, in 21 they talked about Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Again birth, again death. So we have seen in Vedanta that the cause of our birth is vasanas. From the vasanas, the birth comes, and having been born as a human being, we have the capacity to reduce the vasanas, dissolve the vasanas, or increase the vasanas. Unfortunately, out of ignorance of how to live, we add more vasanas. And as a result, we go through this cycle of birth and death, birth and death. So therefore, Vedanta says the purpose of life, the goal of life, is to reduce all the vasanas, dissolve all the vasanas. God plus vasanas equals human beings. Human beings minus vasanas equals God. So the Advaita Vedanta standpoint is what? You are the divinity, but you do not know that you are the divinity. You are therefore imagining yourself to be this limited individual, Viniti, Nita, Krishna, etc. Isn't it? Therefore, you gain the knowledge, remove the ignorance, reclaim your original nature of divinity. This is Advaita Vedanta's claim. Right? So, what do you have to do for it? You have to understand the world. You have to understand the individual, you, and the relationship between the two. And that will happen when you do proper inquiry with the help of a guru through the Shastras. Right? So he says, you inquire. Who is your wife? Who is your children? Who is your friends? Everything you inquire. Right? Then you will understand that all these are of changing nature and there is a changeless, permanent substratum, which he calls as Vishnu, which is always existing and all-pervading. Vishnu who means all-pervading. That all-pervading reality is the substratum. So, you understand that one homogeneous mass of consciousness called Vishnu, the all-pervading reality, is the substratum upon which this entire universe is projected. Right? Upon which this entire universe is projected. There is only one reality.
So,
That's what,
Guruji,
yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, Guruji, when you're saying the son, daughter, they're all changing, how are they changing?
The body is changing, the mind is changing, the intellect is changing, everything is changing constantly.
But body is changing in rebirth only, not in this life.
In this life itself it's changing. Your body is changing. The way they look, each and every cells are getting replaced. Isn't it changing? Everything is changing. Body is also constantly changing. You know, I shaved and came this morning. Just now when I touch also a little bit growth could be there. Evening more. Tomorrow again you see more hair growth. What is all this? Changing. Right? Everything is in a constant flux of change. And that changeless reality, what he refers to as Vishnu, the all-pervading truth, is the substratum. Once I understand that, then I will not mentally get disturbed, agitated, angry. You know? So it's the same reality that is expressed in different names and forms. And due to the gunas, each one is functioning differently. Some are kind, some are very cruel. You know, all this is because of the gunas. But essentially they are also divine. You know, so therefore I won't become impatient. I won't get angry once I understand this truth. Otherwise I will get angry. I will get agitated. You know, why this person is behaving like this? You don't get agitated with the tiger because you know tiger's nature is this. You love the tiger, but you may not go closer to the tiger because you understand the nature. Similarly, in human beings, there are so many people behaving differently because of their gunas. So when I understand that, will I get impatient? Will I get angry? No. So that's what he's saying in 20. In you, in me, and elsewhere, pervades the one reality, Vishnu. In vain, you are angry with me, being impatient. Also, you are gaining knowledge, but you are not sitting and doing proper reflection. So the knowledge is not getting converted into wisdom. And you are getting agitated.
Yes.
You know. So, instead of just receiving information, you should also put in some effort to digest it. And then he says, render your mind equanimous at all times. It's not worthy getting agitated. You know, I'm not going to allow anything to agitate me. And even if I get agitated, I don't want to continue in that state. It's not worthy. You think about it from a practical point of view. How many more days we are going to live? We don't know. Right? Why spend these number of days in such agitations and hatred? Why you want to do that? So therefore he says, render your mind equanimous at all times. If you are keen on the state of Vishnu. If you really want to realize the self, you need to continue doing your sadhana at all levels, body level, mind level, intellect level, to keep your mind calm. Only in the calm mind will the truth reflect itself. See, the sun reflects in every pond. Okay. But if there is a pond which is full of green mantle, covered by green mantle, will the sun reflect in it? The sunlight is falling on it, but it can't reflect because the green mantle is covering it up. Right? But when you slowly remove the green mantle, you can see the sun reflecting in that pond as well. You know? So when you remove the dirt and the agitating mind, bring it to calmness, In you, the Vishnu, the truth will reflect. So you must choose a lifestyle that will help you to keep your mind calm. So even when you choose food, you're eating certain food, it's not going well with you, you're feeling heavy, unnecessarily disturbing. Why you want to continue eating that food? Eliminate that food. So the whole idea is to keep yourself calm, because only in the calm and quiet mind does the self reflect itself. Not in an agitated mind. Self will not reflect in an agitated mind. So it's my obligation to keep my mind in calmness as much as possible. So you find out whether selfish action keeps my mind calm or unselfish action keeps my mind calm. So I might as well keep unselfish actions then, if that is what is going to keep me calm, and negate the selfish actions. Similarly, when I talk ill about others, does it agitate me or not? I need to find out. If it agitates me, why talk about it? It may give me pleasure that time, but eventually it's giving me a lot of agitation. Why I want to put negative things into me? So I will not participate in such discussions. Like that, you should start choosing your life. See, when you build a room, you need to decide what you want to keep there. Anything and everything everybody gives you keep, then what will happen? When you do housewarming, so many people will come and give gifts. You can't accommodate everything in your house. Out of their love they are giving, fine. But how can you accommodate everything? Just because they gave it. You understand? Similarly, people may give all kinds of things to you, but you must choose what to relate with. Because you must understand, in my mind, the most highest priority should be for calmness. Because whatever good I want to do, I can do, can be done only when I am calm. When I am agitated, I can't do any good. Not possible. So it's more important that I keep myself mentally and physically healthy. See, mentally you may be healthy, but physically you are not healthy. You will not be able to do it. So you got to, therefore, do things which will keep you physically healthy also. See, they are interconnected. Physical health and mental health are interconnected. So therefore, start doing activities that will keep you healthy, physically also. So then, in that person, you will find the self reflecting more and more. That's what he says. Render your mind equanimous at all times if you are keen on the state of Vishnu. If you are keen on the state of Vishnu means what? All pervading reality. And if you are keen on the state of realizing the truth, then you will be cheerful, happy all times. That's what when he says, if you are keen on the state of Vishnu means, if you are keen on being happy all the time. Who is not keen on being happy all the time? Everybody, right? So to be happy all the time, what do you have to do? You have to render your mind calm. So from the absolute point of view, we say your goal is to realize the self, reducing vasanas. Relative point of view, to keep it calm. Keep the mind calm. Next sloka.
Shatro mitre putre bandau ma kuru yatnam vigraha sandau sarvasminnapi pashyatmanam sarvatro sruja veda jnanam.
Shatru, Mitra, Putra, Bandha. He says, Shatru means enemy, Putra means son, Mitra means friend, Bandha means relative. Enemy, friend, relative or son. Whoever it is, do not get involved in antagonizing or allying with enemy, friend, relative or son. Whatever may be the relationship, maybe the closest are not so close. You are not close with enemy at all, and you may be extremely close with your son. Different range of relatives and relationships. So he says, whatever may be the range of relationship could be, you do not get unnecessarily involved, neither for nor against. It's not worth it. Even in the world, what is the point in getting inimical feeling towards anybody? If you keep inimical feeling within, you are only going to get agitated. And when you keep your inimical feeling for long, they may convert itself into disease also. Please understand, end of the day, mind is what finally projects itself in the body. You understand? So, it is in your own interest also, you should not develop any antagonizing feeling towards anybody. So, let them have negative thoughts and think that you are enemy. So why you want to think them as your enemy? Out of foolishness they are considering about you like that. You don't have to repeat the same foolishness. So you don't have to become overtly friendly with anybody as well, but you can be friendly with everyone. Even in a practical sense, it will help you a lot. You're not having any inimical feeling with anybody. Even to negative people, you may say good morning and leave. What are you going to lose? Nothing. So, he is talking from a very different level. He says, do not get involved in antagonizing or allying with your enemy, friend, relative or son. Why? Because they are not reality. Investing too much time in them, it's not worth it. In the sense, what is the thought flow? Find out what is the reality. Reality is Vishnu. So why give too much importance to all this? Antagonizing or involvement means too much time. You remember, we said before, one example I gave you a long time ago. Supposing you have some person whom you hate, and that person lives in Mumbai, and closer to your parents' house in Mumbai, and you are going to visit your parents. More than your parents, you will be thinking about that fellow. I hope I don't have to meet that guy, Don't want to meet him at all. 2 days, oh God, please. You are thinking about that fellow more. Isn't it? So, that is what he is saying. See the self in everything, everywhere. Cast away ignorance causing diversity. Do not get involved. Mentally we get involved with people whom you love or like the most. People whom you hate, who are not fulfilling your likes and dislikes. You say, I hate them. They are my enemies. They don't cater to my likes. So I antagonize them. Right? Both are agitations at the mind level. And when your mind gets agitated, you cannot allow the self to reveal itself through you. You won't be able to reflect upon the self and see the self also. So therefore he says, see the self in everything, everywhere. Whom you call as enemy is also self. Whom you call as friend is also self, in different names and forms. See, we have discussed this example of dream quite a lot of time. In Vedanta, in Advaita philosophy, you will bring in that example of dream again and again and again. When you, the waker, falls off to sleep, right? The dream is projected. And the entire dream is what? Nothing but your mind, the waker's mind. One waker's mind becomes the entire dream. Correct? So in the dreams there are friends, enemies, close relatives, distant relatives, everybody, all have come from where? That one mind. So it is that one mind that has become all this. Similarly, that one Vishnu that has become all this. So then your enemy is also a source of worship for you. In a way, more than your friends, your enemies keep you alert.
Yeah.
You understand? Your enemies might, your friends might keep on praising you all the time. So you may not be that alert. You understand? But your enemies always keep you alert. So that way they are actually your friends. Isn't it? And from that angle, if you look at it, they're actually your friends. In fact, many years ago, there's a gentleman in Tamil Nadu, he gives a lot of Tamil lectures. He speaks very well in Tamil, very learned, and he delivers the speech very well. He was invited by some group where all the diabetes people are involved, So he is going to address them, people with diabetes. So he said, why these people are inviting me? What will I talk to them? I don't know. So then he said, okay, he prepared for it. So he delivered that speech. I happened to listen to that speech on YouTube long time ago. He says, diabetes is not a disease. It will help you to keep you disciplined. Isn't it? Look at it from that angle. Till now you were not disciplined. But now that you've got diabetes, right? For now you will have to go for a walk. You will have to be careful as to what you eat, what you don't eat, how much you eat. Isn't it?
They say it's a window to all other diseases.
If you don't keep yourself disciplined.
First door to other, yeah.
It's a window to other disease if you don't keep yourself disciplined. If you don't keep your sugar level under control, obviously your kidney, your eyes, many things will go for a toss.
Your
Okay.
liver,
Everything.
everything.
They will go for a toss. So you have to now start being disciplined.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, he says. It is now come into your life to keep you disciplined.
It's a different perspective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the way you look at it. Instead of thinking that, my God, why did I get this diabetes? And then you'll say, Arey, my father had it, my grandfather had it, these fellows have given it to me. You get agitated with them. Instead of that, chalo, theek hai, at least now I'll be disciplined from now on. So the perspective changes. So he says, look at them from the angle of truth. You're getting involved in their activities. You're getting involved in their behavior. If they are nice to you, you say, I'm nice to them. If they are not so nice to you, you also say, I have also developed hatred for you. Why? Why should your perception be dictated by their behavior? You understand? You let them behave in the way they want. Like when you go to a zoo, animals are not behaving the same way. Each animal has different trait, but you love them all. Similarly, when you see the truth in everybody, the reality, the substratum in everybody, you will not unnecessarily, get too much involved. At the same time, intellectually you know that this person is a well-wisher of mine. This person is not a well-wisher of mine. You know that. But that's okay. Let them be not my well-wisher. Or let them be my well-wisher. But I will have the same vision towards everybody. I may spend more time with a person who is doing good things for me. Right? I may not associate with somebody who wants to do negative things for me. But why should I have a different perception? I can understand that they are also nothing but the expression of the same divinity. So therefore he says, the distinctions and all that is only at the body, mind, intellect level. Only ignorant fellow who identifies with the body, mind, intellect level goes through this. See, this only shows that your identification is still with the body, mind, intellect. if somebody is passing remark that why is this Swami going in Mercedes Benz? Why is this Swami wearing this watch? That Swami is wearing that watch, coming on time, giving lecture on Bhagavad Gita, Bhaja Govindam, throughout his life. Okay. And living absolutely charitable life. But for commutation, if he is using these vehicles that has been given to him, your attention is not on them, the vehicles and the watch and all. That means you have not shifted your attention from the material level. Instead of you thinking that Swami is thinking about material, he may not be. But what is confirmed is your attention is on materials. If that Swami's attention is also on material things, let him face the karma. You understand? But this is a very clear proof that all the time your attention is on material things. You understand? So, that's all he is saying here. You are ignorant and therefore you are identifying yourself with the body, mind, intellect. And whatever level you are identifying, only at that level you will see the world also. All the time some fellows, will see everything from that calorie. You can't eat anything in front of that fellow. You understand? Everything, because they are only stuck at that level. While you should be aware, when you go to buy something in the shop, for example, when you are traveling, sometimes you feel like having some cold coffee or something. But I always check. It's very interesting. Total sugar, added sugar, ye wo karke, if you see, for 100 grams, nearly 30 is this only. So you say, Baba, keep it. Once that you have to be aware. I'm not saying no. But that doesn't mean 24/7 you only talk about calorie. As if nothing else is there. That means what? You are stuck at that level. You are ignorant. So that's what he's saying. You start seeing the self, means the whole picture. See, replace these words. See the self in everybody, everything, everywhere. Correct. Replace the same thing in a different way. What is self? All-pervading reality. Broader picture. Right? Seeing the body, mind, intellect. What? Narrow vision. Any time you have a narrow vision, you should tell yourself, I must shift to the broader vision. Why this fellow is having this quality? Why this person is behaving like this? Narrow vision. But to their friends, see, it's very interesting. When you read Mahabharata, the friendship between Lord Krishna and Sudama, there is an episode. The friendship between Arjuna and Sri Krishna. And there is friendship between Karna and Duryodhana. Now, this Duryodhana is such a negative character when it comes to Pandavas. But with reference to Karna, if you see his friendship, it's something else. You understand? They both are very close. Right? He brought Karna and made him a king. Right? So, even in Duryodhana, such a negative fellow, there are a lot of good traits.
But he had an ulterior motive to be friends with.
Whatever it is, he had good traits. Nobody is 100% bad. Nobody is 100% good. Okay? Including you and me. There is one interesting quotation Swamiji has given in Vedanta Treatise book. There is so much good in the worst of us. There is so much bad in the best of us. Therefore, it ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us.
Therefore,
It ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us. Why talk about 10% bad? Why talk about 90% good? It ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us. It ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us. It ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us. Why talk about 10% bad? It ill behoves us to talk about the rest of us. Why talk about take the good thing and you leave, na. See, there may be fellows who are constantly talking ill about others, but they will be punctual. You learn punctuality from them. Leave aside the gossiping nature. You understand? Or they may have the gossiping nature, but they will be always well dressed. They present themselves very well. Learn that. What you can learn, na. Why are you focusing on the negative things? So, if your focus is on improvement, you will take the good things from everybody. You know? So, cast aside the ignorance which is causing you to identify with the body, mind, intellect and have a narrow vision and move to a broader growth angle vision in life. You know? So when you become too much antagonistic with enemies, you don't learn anything from them. You lose an opportunity to learn. Work-wise, you might have to relate. So I have a friendly relationship. They are also nothing but expression of the same divinity. And they also have some good traits. So I learn them and move on. Out of ignorance, they are behaving in a particular way. You know. So therefore, he says, do not unnecessarily get involved in the relationships. They are all temporary. Your permanent relationship is always with the self. So many friends have come and gone. You had a lot of friends when you were in school. Then you moved on. Then different set of friends in the college. Then different set of friends. Now finally you may have very few friends. You may not be in touch with anybody whom you were friendly with before. Things keep on changing, right? So therefore, why unnecessarily develop any hatred or involvement in any relationships? Anything that causes diversity, you got to do away with. Anything that brings about unity, you must hold on to it. That's the idea. Anywhere if it's bringing negativity, you know, you do away with it. I always tell people, when you talk about somebody, negative things, talk also the positive things of that fellow. Then you are really having an objective vision. Otherwise, you are having a vision that is projected by your mind. No? This is a kind of exercise people do in some of their programs. You know, when you write down saying that I hate this person is doing this. Say, okay, TK, all that is fine. Write 5 good traits of them. You believe me, when you start doing that, little bit positive feeling you start developing for that person. Then you may start seeing 3 more good traits. Then you may start seeing 10 more good traits. Then you will think, why am I hating this person? You know? So therefore, he's saying, rise above all these unnecessary relationships. They're all transactional. Friends may become enemies, enemies may become friends. Right? You have probably a greater obligation towards your son, your daughter. That is fine. But don't get too much involved in the relationships. You have to get back to the self. You had so many janmas. In so many janmas, you had so many friends, enemies, relatives, sons, children, mother, father. That's what he said now in 21. Again birth, again death. Again lying in mother's womb. So many mothers we've had. Right? But you are not aware of it now. You are not aware of it. Similarly, we had so many friends, so many sons, so many daughters in the different lives. So, today in this life, this is the situation. So, I have certain relationships. I do it without too much negative or positive involvement. Why? My purpose is to get back to the self. You remember that other example we discussed? When a person is walking on the rope, the person's thing is to balance himself on the rope and go to the other side. That is their interest. They have no interest in tilting left side or right side. But when you see them balancing themselves and walking on the rope, sometimes they may tilt towards the left, sometimes they may tilt towards the right, but they have no interest whatsoever in tilting towards the left or right. Their only interest is to balance themselves and get to the other side. Similarly, your only interest in life should be to get back to the self, nothing else. Okay, you have been attending these sessions here in this class. You come here, for practical purpose it's good that each of you have your own seats when you come. But suddenly when you come, you find that Krishna is sitting in Vinithi's place and Vinith is getting agitated. And she closes the door and goes away. You understand? What do you have to do? You understand? So, the point is, you have come together, like-minded people, you want to study and grow. The purpose is growth. Right? But when we are here, we like each other, we support each other, as much as possible we do to each other, but not get too much involved in those relationships and forget about your growth. That's not the right thing to do. You understand? Anything that we do should be associated with growth. In fact, when in our culture, when we talk about 4 stages of life, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi. Why is a father taking this son and introducing him to the Guru? For the growth of the son. Right? For the growth of the son. Then when the son is learned, he's learnt everything, then the Guru blesses him, and the father and mother, with the blessings of the Guru, they find a girl and get him married. For what? The growth. The expansion of ego. Until then, that fellow has been only living for himself. Now he will get another person in his life. He has to do a lot of sacrifice. Okay. And then when he begets children, a lot more sacrifice. Expansion of ego. You understand? So, why am I getting into Grihastha Ashrama? Growth ke liye. So the husband has to, while looking into his own growth, he should also help and contribute for the growth of the wife. Similarly, the wife, while she looks into her own growth, she should also help and assist in the growth of her husband. Thus, both have to help each other to grow. You understand? Grow out of the dependence. There was certain dependence. Therefore, they came together. But they must help each other to grow out of that dependence and become independence. That's the real purpose of marriage. Isn't it? Similarly, your children, when they are born, they are dependent. Slowly, you have to make them become more and more independent. So, when we are living in this world, there are a lot of relationships. Guru, Shishya, Parampara is there. If the Guru says the Shishya should always be with him, and the Shishya also says, I will not leave you, what kind of a growth is this? You understand? To become more and more independent. That's the real growth. Isn't it? So, you move from Grihastha Ashrama to Vanaprastha. From Vanaprastha to Sannyas. What is that? Independence. Confidence. Growth in confidence. Isn't it? More and more self-reliance. So, all he's trying to say in this shloka, if you look at it this way, is what? Instead of getting involved in these relationships, keep the purpose in mind, which is to grow and become more independent. Move towards the self. Self is absolutely independent. Right? Not tainted by anything that happens. That's what he's saying. Do not get involved in antagonizing or allying with enemy, friend, relative or son. See the self in everything, everywhere. Always have a broader vision. Be clear about your goal, the purpose for which you are coming. I am coming here every week to study and understand and grow. So while I am there, I help and assist each other. We do that for the growth of each other. Then we move ahead in our journey. Not get stuck. When I used to do classes in different country, there was again 40-50 people group, class members. So I didn't know. They themselves formed a group, it seems. I was not part of that group. They themselves formed a group to talk to each other. So one fellow there became too involved. He started messaging everybody at 4 o'clock in the morning, wake up time. So one fellow came and told me, sir, I said, firstly, wow, who asked you to form these groups? Okay, even if you had formed, chalo, tika, that fellow, I told, he is little more enthusiastic, He should get up and study. Okay, good. But he is messaging everybody, get up now. 4 o'clock time, study. And if they don't get up, he keeps calling them also. I said, hey, forget about it. You understand? Don't get involved. Can't get too involved in anything. It's not worth it. Even good things that you do. Supposing you start some charitable institution. Okay, fine. You want to do, you're doing. But don't get involved in it too much.
That's Guruji, that is the fine line when you know, like, okay, not more than this. Because sometimes when you're doing something, till you get involved, things don't move, Things don't move. You have to get into the flow of things to keep it going and things. So you don't know where do you draw the line that this is it. I won't do more than this, or I won't get more involved.
No, it's not the number of activity that we are talking about. When you say the thin line, how to draw, where to stop, how much, you don't have to disconnect yourself from work. You have to disconnect the mind from it.
Detachment.
In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, wise people will also be functioning in the world as if they are unwise. The one difference is they are detached, whereas the unwise is not detached. As if you are also tremendously dependent on the result.
That is seen
Okay.
as a virtue in a lot of people. They think that to be dedicated,
That's what I'm saying.
obsessive is a virtue.
Exactly, that's what I am also saying. When we organize programs for Swamiji, obviously you organize programs thinking that more people should benefit. So you hired a hall for 500 people or 1,000 people, whatever. You do whatever you can to advertise the events through different platforms, raise funds and do everything. Right? So, supposing, let's say, instead of 1,000 people, only 100 people came. Okay? Swamiji will lecture. Oh, only 100 people came, he will not leave. Oh, only 20 people came, he will not leave. He will do the lecture. Even if there is one person, he will do the lecture. Okay? Obviously, if nobody comes, he will not talk alone. Right? So, the point is, it's not the number. Then he may ask us, what did we do? Did we do anything? Is it because of our lack of effort? Or it is in spite of our effort? If he comes to know, after finding the details that we have been putting in our efforts, then he says absolutely fine. So, there is so much of work that you do, but result may not be as you thought. That is okay. So, that is called detachment. But when the result doesn't happen, you get agitated.
Yeah.
Then you are involved.
Let's do more. Let's do something.
Oh, this thing happened, that happened. I don't know why it's happening to us. Nobody came. Why you didn't come? You told me you will come, but you didn't come to the event. I will not talk to you from today. You understand? Unnecessarily getting involved. You understand? So, as though you are an ignorant person, from the outside when they look at you, it looks you are also ignorant. Because you are working dynamically. Right? But inside you are completely detached. That is what it means, no? When we read that shloka, karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Extremely active physically, but mentally totally independent of the result. Lord Ram did everything, and he was to be coronated the next day. But he was called and told, you have to leave to the jungle. He said, okay, and left. That is detachment.
He was not attached to the crown or the fact that it was
Absolutely.
coronation.
So that's exactly how you have to function. So it's not thin line. It's a very, very clear line. Means physically you have to do all that you have to do. After doing all that, when you hit the pillow, in few seconds you should fall off to sleep. I hope tomorrow the results will be positive for us. Who knows? Who knows? You understand? Like this time in the election, I'm not getting into the politics of it, but they were saying, no, all the, what do you call that? Statistics. What do they call it? Exit polls. Were showing that this thing happening, that is thing, these fellows are going to get this many seats, that fellow is going to get only that much. Whole thing can be different.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you put in your efforts correctly or not? That matters. Okay, you have to put in your efforts, not be tamasic. You can neither be tamasic nor be rajasic. You have to be sattvic. In sattva, your focus is on the action, not on the result, not on the doer. With clear knowledge of non-doership, you do everything without getting involved.
That I am not the doer.
All the actions are done as an obligation and as an oblation to God. This is my naivedyam to God. You understand naivedyam, no? Naivedyam, don't say restaurant. There is a restaurant here in the name of naivedyam. You understand? So, naivedyam means offering to God. Right? So, whatever actions, I am offering it to God. The results are not in my hands. I do that. See, like, I don't understand much how they do this advertising, marketing in this social media, So, of course, when some promotions we do for the lectures, we talk to people. But some of our colleagues, youngsters, they understand this. They know how to do this. So, I put them and I say, you talk to them. They say, you have to do this, you have to do that. I don't understand all this. I don't have any interest in knowing this now. You do it. I trust you. You coordinate with them and you do it. They say, this was the mistake we did last time. That's why our advertisements only reached this many people. Now this has to be done. Then it will reach this many people. I said, do all that. But keep learning. You didn't do? Fine. We didn't know. But now we have understood. We have to change. Right? So that is not involvement. So like I said, if that fellow is developing negative feeling towards me, in spite of my good efforts, that's fine. But I must be aware that fellow has such negative feelings towards me. But I don't have to have negative feelings for him. But I must be aware. Right? So, like that in life, you should know everything, do actions without getting involvement. Why? All this is only to get back to the self.
The problem is, Guruji, that we do everything but get back to the self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you are doing it because you have interest from the mind angle. Mind is getting excited, so you are doing it. Then it will not work. You like to read books, so you're reading. But you're not sitting and digesting it. Then how will you grow? How will you become independent? So, we are doing these Bhaja Govindam shlokas. After every shloka or every class, and in fact we are recording this and it's also being, sent to you, and also it's in the YouTube. These classes are being put in YouTube now, audio, So now you can listen to it, but write your own summary. What is it that I learnt in this class today? Maybe 5 points, maybe 10 points, maybe 3 points. Put it down in few points.
Okay.
Like that every class. Then the entire Bhaja Govindam. When you do a summary, there will be a lot of takeaway. Otherwise there is hardly any takeaway. That effort we need to do. That we don't. We just listen.
We don't.
And sometimes we listen to it when we are driving the car, which is okay. But how much attention will you pay for it? So you must actually sit and listen. Spending some time for it, keeping your mobile phone in silent mode, and then reflecting over it and seeing how it is practical from my life, for my life, the challenges that I am going through today. See, that is why I am saying, when you read this shloka, do not get involved in antagonizing or allying with enemy, friend, relative or son. See the self in every being, everywhere. Cast away ignorance causing diversity. Okay, I should throw away the ignorance of the self. I should, see that and understand that everybody is none other than Vishnu, Atma, self, Tika. Fine. No. Go a little practical. When he says, see the self in everything, everywhere, means what? Broader vision. Not narrow vision. Right? Cast away the ignorance causing diversity. Anything that causes agitation in me, I should get rid of that. And my identification is with body, mind, intellect, narrow. Broaden it. Start seeing the positives in the others. You start reflecting like that. Then it will benefit each and every shloka. Somebody may be good to you, somebody may not be good to you. But why should that change the way you look at the world? The way you look at the world should continue same. Because you understand, variety is there. Underneath the variety, there is only one non-dual reality. And to realize that is my goal. Till then I will not stop. A river will not stop till it gets back to the ocean. Have you seen it? On the way, if there are some rocks, it will flow on them and reduce them to pebbles and continue flowing. And if there are huge mountains, there is no point wasting time in fighting against them. So it goes around them, but still it will continue till reaching the ocean. Similarly, I must be very clear in my mind. My destination is to get back to the self. Till I get back to the self, I will not get involved in any of these relationships. I must be able to say, get thee behind me, Satan. I will have nothing from thy hands. Like Jesus Christ says, get thee behind me, Satan. I will have nothing from thy hands. There are people who will say many things. Let them say. There's nothing wrong. Be with them. But when it comes in between you and the path, you and the goal, you say bye-bye. There's an episode in Lord Buddha's life when Siddhartha walked away from the palace and came back as Buddha. He was roaming around in his own kingdom, I believe, for some time. That time his father ran to him and said, Arey yaar, this is your kingdom. Please come, take over. Be the king. He said, listen, you were traveling in a train. I boarded the train. We both sat in the same compartment, enjoyed each other's company. My destination is come. I am getting down. You get down in your destination. You know? So this is life. We've crossed each other's path due to certain karma. So while we are there, let's try to help each other to grow. But not become an obstacle in each other's growth. You know? No, please don't go, no, be here. You know, Swamiji says, due to the attachment to the son, only son, one parents in Mumbai, they refused to send the son to abroad for higher studies, though he got very good scholarships and everything from the best of university. No, you won't go. You are our only son. How can we allow you to go? Don't go. See, it is difficult to part with your son, his only son. But if you really had love, you will allow that fellow to grow. Isn't it? So in the name of love, coming in the way of other person's growth, how correct is it? Can it be growth? Can it be love?
Selfish.
It can't be love. Love should help in growth. Do you get it? Love should help in growth, not in becoming more dependent. So, therefore, he says, do not get involved in any relationships whatsoever, like an ignorant person. Because the ignorant person's vision is very limited. He sees only from the body angle. He sees only from the mind angle. He sees only from the intellect angle. There are people who see everything from the finance angle only. Finally, how much we saved? Finally, how much we saved? You understand? So, don't look at it from that angle. Look at it from the growth angle. Ultimately, are we growing or not? Are we moving closer to the self or not? Are we allowing the self to reveal itself through us or not? That should be the point. That's all he says. See the self in everything, everywhere. See the goal in everything, everywhere. See the progress in everything and everywhere. See the positivity in everything and everywhere. See the opportunity in everything and everywhere. You understand? See the potential in everything and everywhere. Read like that. Casting away ignorance, causing diversity, agitations, limitations. Cast away anything that limits you. Challenge yourself. When your mind starts telling you that this is your limit, you can't go. Challenge yourself. Prove the mind wrong. Keep moving ahead. Understand that it's the attachment and involvement, the ego, seeking security and comfort that's trying to limit you. You know, you got to come out of the clutches of the ego. Ego is more interested in your comfort and swelling, not in growth. Because when a person truly grows, the ego will have to die. So to protect itself, it will do all that. So you got to challenge yourself and refuse to be restricted. So therefore he says, do not get involved in antagonizing or allying with enemy, friend, relative or son or any situation, anything. Don't get, very nice, comfortable room they have given, so I'll stay here. You go for giving Gita lectures to some city. 5 days is the lecture series. But they have taken care of you so much. Very good room they have given. And therefore you continue staying there. Alright? You have lecture to be given in many other places. You keep moving. Don't get attached. Don't lose sight of the broader picture. What's the purpose of life? Keep reminding yourself and move forward. That's what this shloka says. Let's conclude. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Kayena Vacha Manasendriyairva Buddhyatmana va Prakrite Swabhavat Karomi Adhyat Sakalam Parasmai Narayana Yeti Samarpayami.